everyone and welcome back. Now today is Friday the 13th of August. My name's Ellie and this is the CurioStitches podcast. So today is episode 45. Now I'm a little bit nervous. I say a little bit, a lot nervous, because it's been 6.5 months since my last episode. Yeah, I've missed it. And I thought I'd come back and see how things go. So things are going to be slightly different, but also quite similar to how they were before. So I'm going to talk a lot about knitting and my knitting designs. I'm also going to be talking about some of my artwork. Maybe not every week or every episode, but most episodes, because art is a huge part of my life and I love it. So why not? I don't know if you guys are going to want to know about the books I'm reading or the shows that I'm watching or anything else, but unless people say, you know, yes, tell us what sort of thing, then I shall just assume that you don't. So today I have got my pattern for my shawl, the Crescent Moon shawl, which was test knit at the end of last year, and I didn't publish it. The last pattern I put out on Ravelry and everywhere else was the Feline Phantom jumper. I'll insert a photo here. And my test knitters were absolutely wonderful with that. The shawl, I had one test knitter who didn't actually end up finishing, as far as I'm aware, and I sort of waited in hopes that they would finish. But I don't know. So I'm going to be putting out the pattern next week anyway. It'll be out on Wednesday at 10 AM UK time on Ravelry, and then from there I'll try and put it onto CurioStitches.com, which is my website. I forgot to look at the wrong camera. Because that is currently down and I'm rejigging that, so it'll just be for digital things that I won't be doing yarn or any of that stuff anymore. And then it'll go up onto Lovecraft as well, and Ribbler. Yes, Ribbler. Okay, so the shawl, I knit mine using CurioStitches yarns, and it's this. And I have not woven in my ends because I'm a bad knitter, but it's photographed. It was blocked 6 months ago and photographed, and I've not done anything with it since. So it's got this lovely beaded cable detail at the top. The beading is optional, so it creates a sort of little crescent moons, and then the piece starts at this tip down here, and you can use beads or not use beads, and it's just a long crescent shape with the edge added on. Now this was test knit in fingering weight and sport weight and DK weight. There are, I think, 6 options, if I remember correctly, for this one. So like I said, it'll be coming on Wednesday, and in the show notes down below I will tag the test knitters for this one, and I will try and do a little video bit here of screenshots of their test knits. I hope you enjoyed those. So on to current knits that I'm doing. Now I have got a lot of my own designs that I am working on. I'm not going to show them to you just yet, but over the next coming months I will be needing some test knitters. Now they are the moon face socks and gloves. Potentially it's going to be a jumper, but I'm not sure how I want to work it. If I want it to be as a big yoke, or if I want it to be as a back panel, or sort of fair isle work, not sure yet. So, but I always test out my colour work ideas on either socks or gloves or hats before I do it as a garment. So there is the Wolfsbane cardigan. And if you remember, you saw the Wolfsbane hat. Now it's currently up there. And then I showed the beginning of the cardigan on a previous episode. There is a goddess pullover, ritual pullover, a death moon or deathly moon pullover, and the love echo pullover. Now they're all some sort of colour work, whether it's intarsia, whether it's, you know, in the yoke, whether it's stranded. They're all 2 colours. Now what I say is, if you don't want to use 2 colours, then simply use pearl stitch instead for the colour work, so that you have a texture and it's less subtle, but it's still there. So those are my current, I say current, I have this whole unit, apart from this cube here, this whole unit is sort of 3 or 4, some 5 projects per cubby, and then I've got a couple more behind me. Yeah. I have 23 projects cast on, now 24 because I cast on another one the other day, but yeah, the majority of these are my designs. So if anyone feels like test knitting anything, I'd greatly appreciate it. So my current whips that I haven't designed, I will pop that down. The first one I'm going to show you is very easy. Okay, it's just here. Now I know I've got a yarn bowl twin out there, and my yarn bowl twin is April, and she has the black version of this. And when she showed hers the other day on Instagram, I screamed and went, oh, we're yarn bowl twins. But mine's the albino version. So this has got my, I'm just doing some vanilla socks, and it's using the No Makers Hermione in her fingering weight sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Now originally these were the Ook socks, I think by Helen Stewart. I'm probably wrong. It was years ago. But I wasn't able to get my gauge correct again, so I've ripped them out completely, and I've just been doing a vanilla sock. And I'm using a short row heel, which is here. And I am, I have done 3 rounds in the ribbing section. So I like my socks so that they're even. So when I fold them, they match. I'm using 2.5mm needles. These are just Knit Pro wooden needles. 2.5mm, and I'm doing 64 stitches round, split 3 ways. And then I have got a cute little glittery coffin stitch marker here, and I can't remember who did this, so I'll put Harry's name on the screen. And that is just to say how many round marker, so that, oh words, I'm out of practice, so that I know where my heel finished and my leg is, so that I have the same stitch the rows on the sole as the leg. That was really hard to say. Because I like them to match. So yes, so that is socks. I do plan to have a whole new sock drawer of socks over the next sort of year. I have got them all pre-caked in the cubby that is there. So not that one, the next one. So yes. Okay, so my next project is the Comfort Fade Cardigan by Andrea Mowry, who's Andrea Renee Knits. Now I started this as the hashtag Comfort Knit With Us Cal with the grocery girls, and with everything that was going on, I just stopped knitting. I just downed everything. And I'm not joking when I say that I haven't knit for 5 months until 2 weeks ago. I mean, I missed the repetitive motion and the comfort, but I was still quite sore over having to close CurioStitches. So I picked this back up again. And you've not seen it because when it started, I wasn't recording. But it is on my Instagram. So I am on the body now. I split. I'm going to hold it the other way up. So this is the top, the neck, and then you do the collar afterwards. So the whole jumper or cardigan, I'm using 2 skeins of fingering weight held together to help with the marling. It looks very striking on camera, but actually it's not as harsh, definite stripe sort of thing with the fades. But yeah, so the first colours are some of my undyed yak silk held with, what is it? No, got the labels here. I'm aware I just went off screen. I'm out of practice. With Fringilla, which was one of my, it was my May 2020 Witch Club colourway. And then the second colour, which is what I'm working with here, is one that I overdyed. Now this originally was a skein of Saturn, because I dyed all the planets as colourways. So this is Saturn, and I literally just overdyed it with some navy, and I got this beautiful colour. And that one is being held along with Baramu's Titus in the coal colourway. So Titus Baramu, and it's coal. Focus. It's not going to focus. So I have separated for the sleeves, and I'm about 3.5, 4 inches down the body now. I want to try to make my jumper a bit longer, because the next colourway I'm using, along with the coal still, is this Spellbound, which is another one of my hand-dyed colours. It's richer than it's appearing on the screen. It's sort of very dark olive green, and it's tonal, so it's got blacks in here as well. So that will be held with the grey. And then I'm going into my final colour, which is also Spellbound, but this is on a different base. So that one was merino nylon, and this one is just merino singles. And this one is also being held with the Titus grey. So yes, so I'm doing the third size, which is the size small, which is 37.5 inch finished bust, which will give me 3 to 4 inches of positive ease. So yes, it's very relaxing knit, especially seeing as right now I'm just zooming through stockinette. It's great. So yes, I do love Andrea Mowry's patterns. And yesterday I missed out. I woke up and time differences. She had posted at maybe 2 o'clock in the morning UK, so evening where she is, about a call for 2 test knits in her group, and I got up and I was like, oh, and I had a look and they were already closed. I was like, gutted. I love Andrea Mowry's patterns. So my next project that I'm going to show you today is the Moonlit Romp by Vanessa Ewing. I have a photo that I literally had to take on my computer with my phone because I haven't been able to print out the pattern because my printer's broken. So I'll insert that photo here. So it is absolutely beautiful, and I was so enamoured with it that I jumped online to my bestie and my other bestie and said, we need to knit this. Do you want to do it with me? Because I've been craving a new cast on with friends. So they were both up for it, and it was like, yes. So I am on, I'll just move the yarns over here, row, I've just finished, I dropped a ball of yarn, round 19 of the colour work. So, just, oh, I've half dropped a stitch. Here we go. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far. So this, oh, that's showing beautifully. This is the Moonlit Romp. So this is the main body colour work pattern, and then in the front section, as you saw in the photo, is, I'm just going to adjust on my needles, is the moon phase part, I suppose, which is immediately what made me go, I need to knit this, because you know I love everything lunar. So that is the beginning of the moon chart. And again, I'm using more stitch markers. Now I have stitch markers between each pattern repeat because I have foggy brain, and foggy brain in colour work doesn't work. So these ones are my section markers, and then I have a froggy throat, excuse me. And I have just simple, what do they call them, ring, loop, hoop, whatever, stitch markers. Yes. And then I also have another stitch marker here that was from someone else. I can't remember her name either, but I did a test knit for her last year, and I'll put her name on screen as well. So yes, it is absolutely beautiful. I'm loving every single stitch. I'm desperately trying not to drop that stitch, and I've failed. I need to pick that up. There we go. Saved. So the yarns I'm using, now I was very good and I did a swatch in the main colour, but I wasn't happy with the sheerness of it. Now admittedly, I'm working this with sport weight because the contrast colour is one that I dyed on sport weight. So this is Druid. This was one of my colourways, and I absolutely love this colourway. I don't know if you can tell, I actually love autumn colours. So this is Druid, and this was Merino Sport, and I really wanted to use this, and I got gauge with this, but I didn't with this. So I held it double, and gauge achieved. So, like I said, the gold is Druid, and that is on CurioStitches Merino Sport, and the navy is Ice Yarns. It's just navy, and it is this. It was just cheap yarn that I bought on eBay years ago, and I bought it in navy and I bought it in purple, because it was the only sport I could find to buy in England at the time. So it is 25% alpaca, 50% merino, and 25% acrylic. I'll be hand washing this anyway. Is this going to focus? It's not going to focus. Well, it's there. It's Peru Alpaca Fine. It is on Ravelry. I have put my project on Ravelry because I'm back on Ravelry. I created a new account. So if you knew me on Ravelry before, I'm not on there anymore as that person. I am CurioStitches. Yeah. Because I deleted everything I had before, including all my patterns, my pattern library, projects, a lot. So I've only got 6 or 7 projects on there, and nothing has any photos yet. They are coming. I'm a bit gutted that I lost everything, but there was a reason I had to delete everything that I'm not going to go into online, but I didn't feel safe. So yes. So that is my Moonlit romp, and I'm very much looking forward to working on this some more later. I love colour work. Absolutely love colour work. Oh, needles. I'm using, I have been using my Leicas in the correct gauge. And these are the ones I bought just before, just after Christmas, to try, because I didn't want to commit to buying a whole set if I didn't get on well with them. So I bought one of their cables, a 3.5 and a 4. Yeah, so the driftwood is the 3.5mm and the indigo is the 4mm, and I really like them. But I'm now on the next size up needle, and I'm using my Caspians, which are by Knit Pro, and Kristen, who is Vine Yarns, Vine podcast. At the time she was Yarngasm. I saw them in a magazine and I said, if I send you the money, please can you send these to me? And she was like, yeah, of course, Ellie. So yeah, so bless her, I sent her the money and I paid for the shipping, and I sent her a little something to say thank you, and I bought the set of these and the DPNs, and there they are. Because Knit Picks didn't used to, I don't know if they do now, but they never used to send to the UK. They only shipped inside the US. And there's a lot I like that there's Knit Picks. So yeah. So that is my final project I'm showing you today, that is knitting. I've not done any spinning. I think I've touched my wheel twice since Christmas. And I know that that is in a previous episode, so yes. I just need a sip of tea. I love this mug. Living my best life. Got it in TK Maxx. Now, it's TK Maxx in England, but TJ Maxx in America. And they had all these sort of witchy mugs, and they were £3 a piece. It's about $3.50 a piece, and I was like, I'll have all of those, please. So I bought 4, and then I went back in with my daughter last week and got her one to match my other one. But yeah, you'll see them all on the podcast at some point because I love big mugs. So, moving on. Now this is me burying my artistic soul. Now on this side of the room is my knitting area. Apart from my yarn stash, which is over there, it's all changed again because originally, when I decided to stop doing CurioStitches, I literally boxed everything except my project bags, which had projects in. So everything else that I didn't sell on my clearance sale, or I wanted to keep for at some point in the future, I just put into big plastic tubs and put them in the loft. So this week I've taken it all down and reorganised it. It's a little bit shuffling still needed, but this side of the room is just knitting and designing. And then I have another 12 cubby unit over there and 2 baskets, also knitting and spinning, and some books and a camera. But behind you on the other side, because I have a desk here and I have a desk there, and that desk is my art desk, because I can put my canvases, all my paints, everything on it, and I have room for a desktop easel. So long story short, paintings and drawings. Now in order to get my hand back into it, because it had been a while, I basically downloaded some pictures from Pinterest and I just copied them. And then I thought, you know what, this is getting a bit not me. It's not my work, it's my taste, yes. And I love drawing for the sake of drawing and things like that. I just copy and it makes me feel good, you know. Being able to mimic someone is a compliment. It's not anything I'd ever plan to sell or claim as mine, you know. And unfortunately, some of it, you know, they don't put they use a handle on it, or it's someone's tattoo, and I really like it, so I draw it. Because for me, I like a lot of tattoos, but sometimes I prefer them as a piece of art because I've only got a certain amount of space on my body. I have got a lot more tattoos since I recorded, but I'll show you those another time. So it brings me to the fact that 2 of these pictures I've done are things that I have copied and then added to. So for example, this one was someone's tattoo, but I changed the finger position slightly and I added colours and depths, and it was just it called to me, so I had to draw it. And originally it had no colour. Like I said, I don't know who did it, but I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. I spent a couple of hours just doodling it, and yeah, I really like it. And then the next one I did deliberately to put in our hallway. Now this was a tattoo that was just black and white, or grayscale, and we repainted our hallway to a very similar shade to the colour I used for the background. So I did this one. because this is something that both Abby and I absolutely love. So yes. So this one, like I said, I did all the colours and I changed part of the skull here. I didn't like the original nose, so I changed that. But yeah, it's mostly someone else's work, but effectively I coloured it in. I drew it, but I coloured it in. So this sort of gives you a hint to my style, you think, or my taste. Here, I'm eclectic in every way. So a couple of weeks ago, I saw a photo of a badger and I thought, I have to paint that. I love miniature. So I painted this. Isn't it pretty? It's not focusing very well. I don't know. Might have practiced with camera focus, but this is my badger. It is beautiful. And then I did blackberries and leaning on a hedge, on a log. So this one's going in a little frame and it's going to go up in our hallway because we're building our own little gallery. And then I saw a photo of a white or an albino axolotl because I have one in my fish tank downstairs. Abby has a couple of dark ones at her work. And I had to paint this one. This is so cute. Oh my god, that's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love axolotls. And this, oh, so cute. So cute. So yes. So this is mostly what I've been doing in the last sort of 6 months, just art, exploring. I paint with acrylic. You wouldn't know that's acrylic, but it's acrylic. I like using acrylics as both thick and very fine texture, so I like being able to use acrylic as watercolours as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Apparently it's not supposed to be done because it breaks the pigment down too much, but I don't care. I'm not selling it. It's just for me. So yes. And the last thing I want to say is I have been planning my Christmas makes. I have got my list. I've just covered it up. Here. Now, there are only 2 people that I need to figure out something to make for Christmas. And this is one of the reasons that I started knitting again, decided to jump on again, because I want to share what I'm making. So I'm making 3 jumpers for Christmas for other people. One of which I've already started. 2 I have not. So yes. That is. Oh, and I need to finish 2 crochet items for this Christmas. I'm not going heavy this year. Well, I say I'm not going heavy this year. You think 3 jumpers for other people for Christmas? Well, I'm nuts, but I think I can do it. So yes. So that is all for this episode. I'm not sure if it is going to be weekly or bi-weekly. It'll probably be bi-weekly. I'll say bi-weekly because then it's less scary than weekly. It may work the other way around in my head. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you ever so much for being here. Like I said, the pattern for the Crescent Moon shawl will be up on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday at 10 AM. And yeah, let me know below or tag me on Instagram if you are prepared to, I've just got my foot caught around something, do some test knitting for me for some new patterns. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.